All right. Let's try this again. We should be live in all of our Facebook groups, including the BatchDriven group. So I think we should be good to go now. We were having some technical difficulties, guys. We were using Zoom for the first time, and for some reason on Zoom, I could not see anybody's comments. So for this week, we will go back to using StreamYard, and possibly for next week, expected to be on Zoom. So hopefully we can see you guys, see your comments and stuff. So I'm excited for that. So as we check in, we get this thing started. I'm going to be bringing in our new team member. He's not really a new team member. He's a team member. We got his first deal. His name's Ty. Okay, and Ty got his very first deal probably about 2 weeks ago, and we are closing. We are closing that deal. It's a subject to flip, so super duper exciting. I'm excited to have him on because he's some tribulations getting started, getting his first deal, and yeah, how it all went. So I'm going to send him an invite right now. He'll join us here in a second. In the meantime, guys, like we do every single Friday for this live, be sure to comment on this video, share it with your friends, family, or any folks you think would get some value from it. Super duper excited to have him on to do that. So hopefully you guys get some value from it. But as we get started, again, comment on the video. Let me know where you're at. What's working really well for you in your market? Are you door knocking? Are you driving for dollars? And how that's going. Have you already got a deal? Like, what can we help with? That's the whole purpose of these lives. It's how can we help you get your first deal or get 10 deals or your 10th deal, 15th deal. It doesn't matter. How can we help you do that? And how can we help you navigate through the app and any challenges you're having? It's the reason why we're here to talk about it. So give me a second. I'm going to invite Ty. And as I'm doing this, guys, put some comments in there. Let's see. Ty actually might have go from one deals to like, he has 2 more here that are potentially this weekend deals. So super duper excited for him. So I think that's how it goes for a lot of people. I think a lot of people, you know, it was for me too. Like I did a lot of things. I didn't really know what was working, what was not working. I was just taking a bunch of action, right? But I was going all over the place and took all this action to get my first deal. And then from there, like all that action didn't just net me one deal. It was like I was still seeing like the slow trickle in effect of getting more deals from that initial way, that initial action. So that was really cool. And that I think that's a lot of how people get momentum in this business is all that action to take you get your first deal. And then from there, you know, you go from 1 deal, 2 deals, 3 deals, that second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. Those deals are so much easier to get than that very first one. Because the very first one isn't just getting started, taking action and whatever, because you have to take massive action, but it's also a proof of concept. It's a proof that this is going to work for you, how it's worked for so many people, right? You see people cashing these checks and, you know, like, oh my gosh, life is great. I made $30,000. Like you see, even the BatchDriven Facebook, I get the dang Facebook advertising where it's Anthony, and Anthony's like, I made $30,000 on my deal, and on my second one, I made $10,000. Like, yeah, it's really cool, but it's not real for you until you get a check. You know what I'm saying? So the first deal, it isn't just the first deal. It is momentum, and it's proof of concept. It's like, hey, now I see that I can do it. Matt Beer can do this. I've seen it work for Anthony, obviously. He got $40,000. But now, even if it's $5,000 or whatever it is, $3,000, anything, you see it work for you, and it's like, okay, I can now do this over and over and over and over. So it's really, really exciting. What's going on? What's going on, Robin? How you guys doing? So far this month, Jordan, we have Ty Zeal, we have Anise, which should be getting a signature today, and then we have another lead from Ty on Saturday. So hopefully we can finish this month with 3 deals for those guys. quite a few more appointments too. So maybe we can finish the month with a bang. We'll keep you guys updated. No, Robin, love having you on. Sorry that we were a little late. We were having technical difficulties rolling over from the other live to trying out Zoom this week. Moving forward, we're going to try to do it on Zoom. I tried it today. I'm probably not doing the right thing. I'm kind of challenged on that. So I'm sure I messed that up somewhat, and I'll make sure to get that addressed before we come on live next week. But it'll probably be from Zoom, and then Zoom I can stream to social media, and apparently that's how they want me to do it. So that's what we're going to do. Naomi, what is going on? Hope you're doing great today. Facebook user, man, I don't know who you are. Why can't I see your profile? Are you going to are you a part of StreamYard? StreamYard/Facebook, I believe. I should be able to see your profile. Yeah, it's weird. Let's see. Eddie, what's going on, man? Yeah, way to go, Ty. Speaking of which, Ty is here. Ty, what's up, dog?
Hey, how's it going?
What is going on with you?
Not much. Planning to go out and do some door knock later today.
Yeah? Okay. Well, I was telling the audience a little bit about you. I was telling them that you had got your very first deal, door knocking, and it was definitely an interesting deal. But before we even get into that, let's talk about how you got started in real estate. Like what made you feel like this was something that you wanted to do? Did you have your real estate license in the past, or what did that look like?
No, I mean, I don't have any real estate experience at all. No license, no nothing. Well, back about a year ago, so I'm just trying to, kind of Google search to see what I could start, do in business. I actually started a few business before, let me see, doing some online sell stuff online,
Oh, dude, I know for sure.
Didn't work out. So do some research and came across real estate seminar. So went there, sound very interesting, and so I actually purchased the seminar. So it cost about $2,000.
I was about to say, did you buy anything at the seminar?
Yes, I did. And after that, the way it works is after that, it's gonna upsell you more and more. It costs more than 10K after that. But yeah, so after the courses seminar, I continue on YouTube, learning on YouTube, and that's took about 7 months of learning. With that, still I did here and there a few things, but not really a lot. Really taking action. No.
Right, but I think a lot of folks in the beginning, I know I was this way. It's like, well, I don't know what action to take.
Yeah, I mean, all information is gonna drive you.
Oh, so, yeah, there's
after that, I mean,
so much stuff.
So I mean, seeing you guys post about a door knocking team, join the door knocking team. So, which I did, and it's been good. A lot of accountability and informations and support. So that's how I got a deal. Take actions.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's the reason why we have the door knocking team. It's because I believe in it, because that's how I got my deal. But it makes it simple, right?
Yeah.
It makes the action part, because again, there's so many things out there with this particular wholesaling or real estate investing, with people selling you stuff at seminars. Buy this software, buy that software. My program's the best. This program's the best. You need to be cold calling. You need to be putting up bandit signs. You need to be sending mailers, whatever. There's so much stuff, so many different ways you can go. The point of door knocking is get rid of all that stuff. Just do this one thing. And it's not the shiny object. It's not the sexiest thing in the world, but this will get you a deal. It's not if, it's when. It'll definitely happen. If you're willing to take this one action and do it every single day, there's no reason why you can't get a deal. And you did. So how did that work? This guy, just for the audience to know, you door knocked the property that was in pre-foreclosure.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I mean, at first it was, when I first started, it is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Your chest, like your heart pumping, and you're sitting in the car. But yeah, I mean, just and start knocking, and then after a week or two, the more you knock, the more comfortable you get. So it will become a norm. So for this guy, I just, first when I walked toward the door, I saw the no soliciting sign on the door. But I still went and knock it. And I make sure I step back away from the door, like probably 6 feet or more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it show respect, right? You give the owner room to kind of show respect, especially 2020 now. 6 feet apart.
Yes.
That's a standard.
Yes.
But regardless, you always do that. Just show respect to them, and which I actually mentioned that. I step away very far. Give him room and respect him. So just knock and show respect, generosity, and and just be there as a problem solver.
Yep.
I approached not like trying to buy his house. I just approached to see if I can provide any solution to stop, the foreclosure. And he actually told me he looking to sell, and he actually got a Zillow guy coming out to like give him an estimate.
Mm-hmm.
But I told him that okay, that's great, but we also in the business of buying house too. If you're interested, someone to come out and take a look and see if we could give you a better option. More options better than one, right? You don't want to put everything in one basket. So yeah,
exactly.
And
so
he took it. So
yeah, he did. And what I think is really cool is the tie that was at the door that day was a completely different tie than your first 10, 15 doors.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that just didn't come like bam, natural. Let me talk about options. Let me try to set this appointment. You probably messed up a bunch leading up to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So, but that's what it takes to get that comfort level of being able to have a conversation with a seller. Sometimes you just got to be willing to suck it up and be like, I'm not really, there's going to be a lot of things that I don't know. And sometimes I'm just going to get lucky and I have a good conversation. I set an appointment, but honestly, you're learning so much along the way. So like the person that you are 100 doors in is a completely different person than you were your first 10, 15, whatever.
Yep.
Right. And you apply those things. And then hell, now that you have gotten a deal signed and you got a contract, we were just talking about this yesterday. It's like now you feel even more confident.
It is, yeah, for sure.
So for the folks that are watching this, this particular deal, like Ty was saying, was it's a subject to property, right? The guy didn't have that much equity. He bought it in 2015. He had some, right? But Zillow was coming out, and Zillow was going to give him an offer. So he was in the ballpark. He was in like the game of see who can bid the most, right? What we were able to do in this situation was the property had appreciated, and it was in really, really good condition, right? It honestly, it needs nothing, right? So typically, like Zillow will come out and they'll have like their roof inspectors, their air conditioning people, like all different, like a real property inspection, but different specialists for each thing. And they'll come back with like, oh, you need to repair this, this, and this. Their total repairs to him was like $286. So that's how good the property's condition was. But the thing was, like, Zillow could pay more than what we could pay, but we sold this guy on us, the people. We were able to give him what Zillow could not do, right? Between his arrears on the property, right, and the money that he was going to walk away with after he pays his HOA dues, which he's behind on, which typically is pretty common for people in foreclosure. They're normally behind on their HOA. After everything was said and done, he was going to walk away with a little bit of cash, right? When we're structuring this as a subject to, this property is worth probably about $305. So it's about $45,000 in equity. You minus commissions and stuff. There's still a good spread. But the greatest thing about this property is it didn't need any work. If this property needed work, it may have not been a deal, right? It's not a cash flow property. We're not doing a subject to keep this for long term. There was enough evidence that the property needing work that we can pay and still be competitive with iBuyers like Zillow and Open Door and a lot of other things. We're able to structure something to where he's going to walk away with a little bit less than what Zillow could offer him, but we are able to give him something they couldn't. And that thing was time, right? He needed to close soon because he's in foreclosure. He wanted to close before the auction so he didn't lose his house, right? Which is at the end of this month. October 30th is his auction date. So he wanted to close before then, right? Which Zillow could do, but Zillow wanted the property vacant at close of escrow, which meant that he would have to take all of his stuff, move in with his sister, put stuff in storage, and be hustling to get out of the property. We were able to give him post-possession enough time to get all the rest of that stuff sorted out so he can find a rental property that works for him, and we're even helping him with his moving expenses. So we get a little bit more creative when it comes to these foreclosure situations, but when you put the person first and you put the prospect first, you open the door to a lot of cool opportunities. And that is when I know Pace talks about it all the time, like doubling, tripling, quadrupling your conversions. You do that by putting the prospect first and trying to figure out what solution would be best for them. Cash offer, not a good fit for this guy. Obviously, creative finance wouldn't really apply to this deal, but a subject to, it opens the door for us to get really creative. So, I mean, and it really only happened because you were at the door, Ty, and he said that at the appointment. He was like, I really like the way you came to the door and you talked to me. Most people say they're going to come to my house and they're going to give me an offer. They never show up. So I really appreciate you coming to the door. Didn't he say that?
Yeah. I mean, there's some people told him like we'll call him or show up at appointment, but then they late or never show up. So yes, it's also important. Like if you tell them something, deliver it. Yep.
You like you don't even have trust with this guy. So the worst thing that you could do is not show up on time.
Yeah.
Or not show up at all. Do you think he's going to want to hear you out, or anyone's going to hear you out if you just like stiff him, or like you're 15 minutes late? It's a big respect thing. So he loved that about you. He loved that you came to the door and you talked to him and you opened up the door to having a conversation with him. Because guys, when we were there, and I was getting pictures of the property, there was like a stack of mailers like this big of people who had sent him stuff, and people that I know here in Phoenix. I won't say any names, but there's people that I know here in Phoenix that had sent him mailers that was just sitting there on his counter, right?
Yep.
So like
yellow, white, all colors.
All the colors of the rainbow, but they're not the ones getting the deal, right? We're getting this deal because you hustled and you got it, right?
Yeah.
And I mean that's a nugget. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's door knocking or whatever. Like if you go the extra mile, you're going to be in a better position to, and especially in a competitive market like Phoenix, you got to be willing to go the extra mile.
Get in front of them.
Yep. Let's see here. Robin says, I know I should be doing more for myself, but Matt, I have to say that what you and Pace have offered to do is helping me / us stay consistent, just knowing I have help. 100%, Robin. Like, that's the whole thing about this. Like, we're not in it for any kind of financial gain, right? Same thing with Ty. Guess how much money Matt's making on Ty's deal? Zero. $0. I'm not in this for any sort of financial gain. It sounds crazy, but we're here because like it's so amazing to be able to share this experience with someone. Share their experience of getting their first deal is incredible because like it changed my life. And in 1 year's time, everything is completely different for me. Right. And I want to share this with so many other people because I know for sure if I can do it, like it sounds stupid, but if I promise you, if Matt Beer can do it, you can do it too. So, Robin, we're happy to help. We're glad that you've been sending in your Driving for Dollar list. We have VAs that are helping. We started marketing that on Wednesday, and we'll keep you in the loop on what happens in any deals that we get. And yeah, it helps. It makes things. It makes things. I wouldn't say easier, but just more straightforward, right? When you're like, okay, properties, you can be consistent on that because that's the action that you need to take. And that's what I was talking to Ty about door knocking is when you know that this is the only thing that you need to do, then it helps you be consistent on it. There's nothing else. There's no other distractions. It's just this. So the same thing with Driving for Dollars, adding your properties. You know, when you're wondering like, what action do I need to take to get a deal? Well, you know, if you do those 30 properties every day, there's no way you're not going to get a deal. Let's see. Mercy says, can you tell me about the beta course? I missed that part. I was in the bank. Yeah. So, Mercy, I was actually talking about our VA course. Our VA course that we are releasing at Black Friday next month. So we're doing like a few test users, beta users per se, leading up to that point, so we can have some folks try out the course, let us know their thoughts. So if you wanted information on that, just send me an email, mattbeer@vahub.com. I'll be happy to send you a few things over for sure. It's like your firstborn. Yes, it is. Like, I wouldn't say to that extent, but yes, it's like that way for sure. Because it changes your life, man. Your firstborn changes your life. Your first deal changes your life. Even if your first deal is $2 or $3 grand, right? Even if your first deal is $500, it doesn't matter, right? Making money and seeing that it's real for you changes everything. I've been virtually driving for dollars. Would you say absentee versus owner occupant has any influence on whether you add the property? No, I wouldn't. But what I would say is that I would definitely look at the time that photo was taken. So when virtually driving for dollars, there's a couple things that I look at. Okay, does the property look like it needs to be added to the list? Cool. If the property is ugly, it needs some work. I don't care if it's absentee or owner occupied. Can add it to the list, right? Typically, the properties that have been owned longer are even better because they probably have high equity. But what I do look at is when the photo was taken. Because if you're not doing it in Phoenix, like even outside of Phoenix, some of the suburban areas, the photos were taken like 2018, right? Some 2017. So you want to look at that sale date. So when you click on the property, has it sold since, is 2019, 2020? Has it sold recently? Then you probably wouldn't want to add it to your list because that photo is outdated. Maybe that property was flipped. But before you discount it completely, especially if it's a really ugly property, I would dig a little bit deeper. So if the property is really, really ugly and the photo was taken in 2017, but it says it was sold in 2020, before not just completely discounting it, moving on, I normally copy and paste that address. I take the address and I paste it into Zillow or somewhere. And Zillow will have the same photo that we have in BatchDriven, but it'll tell me if it was just like a deed transfer or if it was an actual actually a sale, right? Because what happens is, especially for these older properties that need a bunch of work, like typically these are like inherited properties, probate, whatever, or even just like some sort of quick claim between spouses. There's a good chance that it wasn't an actual sale, but it's registered as a sale in Zillow and BatchDriven. But I would dig a little bit deeper because it could just be a title transfer or a deed transfer. And if it's that case, then I would still add it to my list because this person didn't actually buy the property. They got the property from, Jane Doe, and now John Smith owns the property. He didn't actually buy it. He had inherited it, or it came from probate, or it was quick claim to him, so he has full equity in the property. So it's still, it's not like it's sold on the open market. So they didn't go and do a bunch of repairs and get it ready to be listed. It was just a deed or title transfer. So that's just something I wanted to share with you guys. Have you seen that too, Ty?
Was that?
I said, have you seen that too? When you drive for dollars, some of the, well, especially virtually. Have you virtually driven for dollars or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do both.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that though, with like the date of the photo being a little bit older than when the sale?
So you kind of cutting off, but yeah, I mean, when I do see like some of the property looks very like in bad shape. However, it's like the sale day is like either 2019 or 2020. But I did not go the extra step like you just told me. So that was a nugget right there.
Well, yeah, because you're like I've run into it a couple times now, especially in like some of these older neighborhoods in Mesa, where it's been that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I do the search and I'm like, oh, it was just a deed transfer.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's a LLC, then yeah, that someone gonna bought it and probably flip or do something about it. But if it's not in LLC, then yeah, definitely do that.
Yeah, it's good just to dig a little bit deeper. You're already right there with the property. You might as well, might as well dig a little bit deeper.
And probably keep in mind like the harder to get like sometimes the deal it get even like harder when you have to dig more into it, because a lot of people they just skip trades, and if they don't come back with the phone number or anything, that's mean a lot of people cannot reach them. So
100%. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi says, I've been virtually driving for dollars. Would you say absentee versus owner has any influence? Okay, that was one I just answered, right? Perfect. Facebook, I'm going to have a referral from an agent. I'm not quite a deal, but getting some traction. Yeah, sometimes when you're building out your pipeline, these things that you do today could be a deal in 3 or 4 months. But it's awesome because like you have to have a pipeline to have a business. If you're always focusing on the leads that come in today that convert into a deal today, you're not really going to have anything. But if you build out a pipeline with a solid follow-up process, that's how you have a 6-figure a month business. Yeah, Robin, I think it's probably me, to be honest with you, with the poor reception. So hopefully you guys can hear me between breaking up and coming back on. What's the door knocking team? So here in Phoenix, we have a door knocking team. So, we have folks that come like Ty who want to learn a little bit more about how we close deals, how we negotiate with sellers, and some best practices of getting a deal. A lot of folks haven't gotten a deal yet, but they're on the verge, like Ty was. Ty had done a lot of stuff before joining the team. He had tried cold calling, sent offers on MLS, and did a couple of things for sure, but just wasn't able to get traction on those things. So we basically have a team of folks that are learning real estate and door knocking to get their first deal. We go out, we hold the appointment, we get the deal, and we work together with our door knockers and split the deal. So it's a ton of fun because it gives me something to do on the weekends too. Naomi said, how many doors did you knock before you got your first deal? So I did. It was.
Um,
Go ahead, Ty. You go. You go first.
I was gonna say like probably like around 80, between 84 to 88. But you never know what you're gonna get until you knock it. Go out there
Right.
and knock, and basically the more you do, uh, the luckier you get.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a numbers game, and you just put
It
yourself in
is.
position. You put yourself in a position to get deals. Like Hayel was on our team. Hayel didn't get a
Hmm.
single deal until after her 300th door, and then after 300, she got 2 deals. So it averaged out to be 150 a deal, but she could have given up any time leading up. It's like if she saw other people getting deals, and she would text me. She's like, I don't know why I'm not getting any deals. I don't get this. I'm hitting the numbers. I'm hitting the doors. Like, and she knew what she was talking about too, but it was just repetitions, getting back to it, getting back to it, getting back to it, and eventually she got her first deal. So mine personally was three weeks of door knocking. I'd probably say it was about 60, a little over 60 doors um, to get a deal because I was going back and forth with. And again, I think you can get better and you become a better, I guess, salesperson because we're not really technically selling anything, but a better negotiator probably. Like as the doors go on. So it's an incredible way to get really good at this. Derek says you ignore no soliciting sign and show respect. Yeah, man. Hey, Derek, like I said, we're not selling anything, man. I got nothing to sell you, but I'm here to help. So, but you're rolling the dice. You don't know what to expect when you knock on a no soliciting. So we leave it up to our team. I tell our team if you want to knock a no soliciting, go for it. If not, just mark it in the system.
Yeah.
Jamal says that's the key. Help others first before profit. Yeah, 100%. As a part of our group and what we do, when I first got started, Pace took me to this Go Giver Mastermind, and it really opened light and opened the doors. Like, oh my gosh, all these people are successful by giving, right? It's not like everything that I've been taught up to this point. It's like, oh, because so many people live with a scarce mindset. It's like it's all about me. I got to focus on me first. I got to make this money. I don't care who I screw over. But if you put other people first, your needs and your wants are going to be taken care of 100%, always. So that is just the mentality we have within our team. And this whole thing that we're doing, the 990 challenge, door knocking team, BatchDriven, whatever, everything is always with the mindset of how can we help somebody? And that's how we talk to sellers too. How can we help? That's all it is. Craig says, Matt Beard is my hero. If you started over and didn't mind calling, how many deals would it take before you hired your first VA? The very first one. As soon as I got a deal, virtual assistant, 100%. Because the virtual assistant is going to scale your efforts, and no one wants to door knock forever. No one wants to cold call forever or do any of those things forever. Get someone that can be more consistent than you. And honestly, my virtual assistants are better than me. They're better than me on the calls. They're better than me texting, vetting the leads. Like, get someone better than you as soon as possible who can be more consistent. So that was my first thing. So my first deal, made good money on it, and then I got a couple more virtual assistants. So I hired one out of the gate. Full disclosure, right out the gate. I've said this before. I didn't want a cold call. I wanted the door knock, had some money put aside. It's like, okay, we're going to get this thing a shot. We're going to go all in. I hired a virtual assistant to help me cold call while I was door knocking. And it ended up working out pretty good. Unfortunately, long term, that VA did not work out for me. But it did work it helped me get some leads in the beginning. But as my business grew, I just realized that she was probably not the right person, as the business continued to grow. So that's just as important with anyone. It doesn't matter if it's a virtual assistant or someone that you have locally. They got to be the right person. They got to be self-starters. They and then you got to be able to make a decision, even the tough ones sometimes. So I'll always be grateful for her because, you know, she was my first virtual assistant. But at the same time, sometimes you got to make the tough decisions. But first VA as soon as possible, as soon as you feel comfortable enough to do so. Ty, me and you were having this conversation yesterday.
Yeah, we did. And yeah, I mean, probably. I'm actually looking into it. Yeah.
So what Ty is saying is he's kind of nervous about it, but he's probably going to do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. I love it. I love it. Eden, what's up? Good to see you again. What's the door knocking team? Door knocking and have to try it in Texas. Yes. So it's just like everything. I think on the last call, Eden, you heard where someone asked me, like, what's the best marketing? What's the best market? It's the one that you do consistently, but it's really cool to do the things that no one else is doing, right? So everybody, you know, has virtual assistants, or, you know, everybody's cold calling. Everyone has got VAs to text, or maybe they're doing their texting. But not everyone's, or just takes a little bit more work, right? Setting up a door knocking team takes a little bit more work than me pulling a list and just giving it to VAs. Or knocking on doors isn't as attractive as having VAs send you over appointments, or, you know, or like whatever. But the thing is, there's a massive opportunity in the things that no one else is doing. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in, what business you're in, it's the things that no one else is doing, you're going to see a great return on. So like even in this industry, like doing radio ads works good, right? It's a little bit more expensive, but not that many people are doing it. Hell, the TV ads, just whatever people aren't doing, you're going to see a good return. So door knocking is amazing because it's less cost of entry. Actually, it's the least cost of entry, other than like you have time, right? And you're spending money on gas, but you don't have to spend a whole bunch of your capital to get started. And there's a massive opportunity because not a lot of people are doing it. So if you can build a door knocking team out of folks that are eager to learn more about real estate, eager to get out of their 9-to-5 and get a commission position, doesn't matter if they're trying to start their own business or if they want to work acquisitions for you, it's a great place to start. It's actually where most of our acquisition people start, is door knocking, because it's a trial by fire. It's like, okay, well, you want to sit here and call on warm leads. Let's go out and door knock and let's see how many leads and how many deals you can get. So that is where we see who is really real and who is just trying to take advantage of the system and being like, just trying to soak up everything they can and, you know, be takers. I call them takers. So we live by the go-getter mindset. But when you're like that, you have a lot of people around you who just want to be takers. So the greatest way to weed them out is give them something hard to do, or just not that sexy to do. And you get guys like Ty here who's just going to get it done. So that's why Ty is on this live, and that's why Ty is awesome to work with, because he's just a freaking going to get it done mentality. Alex says, hey guys, do you ever think that wholesaling and or real estate investing will ever become saturated with too many people trying to do the same thing? What are your thoughts on this, Ty?
I'm still reading, so I'm sorry. I think that. I mean, well, you better answer on this one.
Well,
I'll probably add something in there. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, add on top. But what I think is that there are so many people living in the United States that there is opportunity everywhere we look, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter what market you're in, where you're at. The fact of the matter is, this isn't an easy industry. This isn't an easy business, because what a lot of people do is they get their first deal, and then the income is very inconsistent, right? Because the work becomes inconsistent. They don't have the system set up. Maybe you made $10,000, $15,000 in your first deal, and then you go another 3 or 4 months before you get another one. Or you spend all of your money you made on your deal trying to buy all this fancy software and all this stuff, and your business goes downhill and you become too over leveraged. So this business isn't for everybody, but it's an incredible opportunity for the people that will work. So with that, I know there's a lot of people that this won't work out for, and that's okay, right? That is okay, but it will never become to the point where there's just too many people, there's no opportunities. There is opportunity everywhere we look. Like that, my house right across, right here, I guarantee I can go talk to that person and they can probably link me in with someone else, and I probably can find a deal just from networking from the people right next door to me. And at least that's just the way I think about it. And I also think, like, if I wanted to go get a deal today, that I can just open up my BatchDriven app and I can go knock on doors and I'm going to get a deal today. So, and that's in a very competitive market here in Phoenix, but it's an abundant mindset, and that's what the go-giver mentality is all about. They're, Think and Grow Rich and Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. That's all it talks about, is that there's opportunities everywhere we look. It doesn't matter if it's right there locally in whatever market you're in. There is enough here for everybody to make a lot of money, and it's very, 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 very cool. Like we're in such a good time. And it's amazing. Opportunity is amazing. So I definitely think there's enough for everybody. What do you think, Ty?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like it comes down to like a lot of people like want to jump into this business because it's very low cost, right? To start start this business, but it's come down to like how many people are gonna stick around, continue, because it's very easy to like burn out in this business.
Well, it's always a
you cold call, you do this, you do that. So yeah,
well, it can always
just
be
like
a hustle,
clothing, right? Just like clothing, so many big brands out there, but once you see the new brand come up, like, and then they thrive, and some of the other brand like got bankruptcy or whatever. I would say it's pretty similar. So
100%. But yeah, then what you're saying is like the barrier for entry in this industry is very low.
Yeah, and everyone want to go in.
You can spend a whole bunch of money in this business for sure getting started.
Oh, yeah.
But when it's just as easy as door knocking on pre-foreclosures, and you can make $10,000-$15,000 on a deal, like that's crazy. That's really cool. But the fact of the matter is, it's not going to work out for everybody. But for those that are willing to stick it out and, I mean, hustle, but then it comes to a point in time where you got to be good at delegating and good at, giving tasks and being more efficient. That comes down the road. But being an entrepreneur in general and being a small business owner, you got to be able to take risks. You got to be able to gut it out, because it's not always sexy. Don't matter where you're at. Where you're at in your business, you can make, in this business, you can make 50 grand one month, and the next month you can make 5, and you're still carrying all your costs that you were at 50. So you got to come from that abundant mindset. You got to be, this is going to work for me, and you just got to be smart with the money you spend. But this will never be oversaturated. There's always opportunity for everyone who's willing to work, for sure.
And there's a lot of like roller coaster feelings in there, but yeah, just get ready for the ride.
Get ready for the ride. Exactly. There you go. Eden feels the same way. Abundant versus scarcity. You got it. Alex says, love it. So true. This is an amazing book. So I'm glad you said this, Ivan, because this book changed my life. I was doing traditional real estate. I had my appraiser license, so I was going out and I was doing property appraisals. I'd go, I'd look at the upgrades in the house, and I'd basically put a report together and tell someone what their house is worth. Typically, it's ordered by the bank. But with that, I mean, I was making decent money. I was probably making like $7 or $8 grand a month, right? And it was very comfortable. It was very comfortable for me. And I got into traditional real estate because I was like, okay, I want to make some more money. So I thought the only way to do that was to list properties, help people sell, whatever. So I did what I was doing in wholesaling, but I did it for real estate. So I went from like 0 listings to 10 listings in 1 month, right? And then from there, it was like 10 listings, 11 listings. But what happened was I ended up hating it because I was like a therapist for all these people. And I was listing properties I probably had no business in listing it. And I just had to take a step back and like, what have I done? Like, I'm not happy with this, but do I go back to my comfort of doing appraisals, or like, what's the next thing? And that's when I started learning about wholesaling. I went to Europe 2019, summer 2019. And I bought this book, The One Thing. And because I was like, okay, well, I can do listings and I can do wholesale. I can do a little bit of both. But while I was in Europe, I read this book, and after reading it, I realized that I couldn't do that. If I wanted to get any traction, if I wanted to make any change, I could not have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Couldn't be doing a little bit of both, because you get nowhere. When you're doing a little bit of both, you get nowhere, right? So when I got back, I stopped doing everything traditional real estate. I went all in to my wholesale business by focusing on one thing, and then that's when I started to take off. Channel for me, very great. I recommend it to everybody. Like, it's like the Go Giver, One Thing, like the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. All those are definitely foundational. Have you read this one, Ty? Have you read The One Thing?
Audible. I listened to the
Did you listen to it?
Yep. It's a great book.
It's good. It's really good.
It is. Yeah.
And like, even to this day, it's like, what's the one thing that I could do today that's going to move the needle? Like, what needs to be done today that is the most important thing?
Mm-hmm.
Wade says it really all depends, and honestly, a bit of luck. Of my first 3 properties I targeted, 2 are under contract, with 1 closed, and work currently underway to rehab. That's not typical, but may take me a long time to get to the next. Key is to keep going and consistently take action. It will happen for anyone who does the work.
Yep.
100%, man. It's consistency and timing. So, if you're consistently doing the things that will get you a deal, there's no way that you're not going to get one. It doesn't matter if it's this week, next week, or next month. You're going to get a deal. But the goal is to get people in your cause, to help you shorten that gap, and it's going to bring more opportunities in. So that's when you hire a virtual assistant.
Yep. So, I mean, like, luck play a role in this, but the more action you take, the more luck you're going to get.
That's right. That is right. Sandy says, came in late. I don't know if the question is relevant. I haven't gotten my first wholesale deal yet. What is the difference between PropStream and Batch? I'm a bit confused, or do I need to have both? So, I have both, but I don't need both. And here's the reason. I was using PropStream to pull my list, right? It was $197 a month to pull the data to pull my list. And I would use PropStream to get the tax record information on the properties that I would get in the virtual markets, because I need to have their parcel number, their legal description, all this stuff. So when I write up a contract and send it, I would just get it from PropStream. Well, I now use Batch Leads, and their map feature to pull my list. So I don't need PropStream for that. And within there, they actually have all the tax information. So I don't need PropStream anymore, so I'll probably cancel that subscription. So you can use everything under one roof. But again, it depends. Like, are you using Batch to stack your list? Are you using Batch to skip trace? Are you using Batch to text? I am. So it made sense for me to use their map feature. So I keep everything under one roof. So I like Batch because I can do everything just like that. Batch Leads is like the hub for my entire business for like my leads. So it made sense to just use the features within the platform. In full disclosure, I pulled a list last week in a smaller market in Batch, and I know it works. I pulled a list and it cost me about $100, and we probably got 3 or 4 deals from that $100. So
nice.
The platform definitely works. Eden says, Chinese proverb, I think it goes, you chase 2 rabbits and you get none. That's the truth. That is the truth. Well,
get 2 VA.
two VAs and you get double the leads. I love it. So,
but I mean, like,
guys,
it's come like, oh, sorry.
No. I'm like breaking up a little bit. So if you're good and you're good, like say what you got to say.
Oh no, it's just back to the one thing. Focus on one thing, get good at it, and then you're gonna start seeing, other things come along with that. So yeah.
Yep, 100%. And I am like a different train of like school of thinking of do one thing, get really good at it, and then delegate it. Right? I think about what I like of all the things in my business that I'm the best at. And if I'm not a level 10 in every single seat, then, and I don't want to be, then I want to find that level 10 for that position, that seat. And then I'm just keep the one thing that I am a level 10 in.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else can delegate. So, guys, I think this was a really good live. Ty, thank you for coming on.
Happy to be here.
Yes, just a little bit about your first deal, and hopefully next week we can turn that first deal into your third deal because we have that vacant land that I'm going to be giving them a call today after 4.
Nice.
And then also we have the appointment on Saturday at 2 p.m. So, like, hey, guys, we might check in next week and let you know that Ty is actually on deal number 3 real quick. So, fingers crossed for sure. Ty, what's your closing thoughts?
Well, everything works, right? If a lot of people talk about this marketing, that marketing, every marketing works. Just whichever works for you, that you will able to keep it consistently, keep doing it, and you feel good about it, that you're willing to do it, stick with it. Because I
100%.
personally don't like cold call, but I like door knock. So yeah.
So that's what you do, man. You do what you're good at. You delegate some of the things that you don't want to do. But again, everything's going to work, especially for you guys that are watching that haven't gotten a deal yet. Everything works in the beginning, right? Door knocking to get a deal, cold calling work if you're consistent, door knocking work if you're consistent. Yep. But once you start getting a couple deals, that'll change, right? Your business will change. And it's that one thing that Mike Michalowicz talks about in the book, The Pumpkin Plan. What got you here won't get you there. So don't worry about there yet. Worry about getting here. Worry about getting your first 1 or 2, 3 deals. Don't listen to everybody else that is doing all this stuff like, oh, you need to be doing internet marketing, Facebook ads, all that stuff. Pick one thing and be consistent, and you're going to get a deal. And then from there, as you start to build out your business, you can, of course, look at other avenues for marketing. But don't shortchange yourself. Do one thing, do it consistently, just like Ty. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for watching this live here today on Friday. It's always a ton of fun to come on and share some success stories like this. And again, maybe next week we can talk about Ty's third deal. So we appreciate you guys so much. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. And Ty, I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, cool. Well, thank you. Bye now.
See ya.